Hello, everybody. As you have noticed, we have a little inconvenience. There's not every pitcher was here yet, but we are good to go with the innovation pitches of the environment and green energy category of WSA. Our moderator today is Sachi Wickramage. Please welcome the wonderful Sachi.
Thank you, Matthias. All right, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you joining us from every corner of the world for this virtual journey that we are taking with WSA. And we are going to go into a very interesting category, environment and green energy, which is a category which has a direct, significant impact with the UN SDGs number 13, which is climate action. And without taking too much time, let's jump into listening to these winners, and we'll be hearing from five winners. And out of these 5 winners, the intention is for them to compete for the ultimate position of being a global champion. And first of all, let me call upon GreenPlat from Brazil.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's morning in Brazil. Maybe it's good evening for someone else around here. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I can start when you start.
Go ahead.
Great. Hello, everyone. I'm Chico Souza, founder and CEO from GreenPlat Brazil. And we help companies to accelerate the system production. We know that the world generates over than 2 billion tons of waste per day. And most part of this material don't got to the right kind of destination. We know that we have a lot of issues with legal support, a lot of regulations, compliance, but a lack of trust market in this area. And how we help municipalities and private companies to solve this issue with our blockchain as a service software, that we can control the extraction of raw material, the manufacturing of the goods, the loss of production during this process, and the disposal of these materials from the consumers as well. We create a real-time traceability audit system using our technology. It is also a real-time ESG KPI control. These are some of the companies, the private companies that work with us in this revolution. And until now, we had control over than almost 7 million tons of waste since we start. We are in all regions of Brazil. In a current company, we achieve increase of 300% of the waste managed finance. In Takeda, the Japanese company, pharmaceutical company, we achieved 0 landfill in less than 6 months. And the BAS, the keeping company, we achieved control for all internal areas in the flow of that loss of production control. But our biggest numbers we achieved in the city of São Paulo. We control nowadays 18,000 tons of waste per day. We have more than 609,000 private companies that are using our freemium solution in the municipality. We decreased the municipality costs in the first year in $8 million, and this year we are going to achieve $35 million of waste management reduction costs using our software. We reduced the administrative time in more than 90%. And now this year we are going to deploy the solution in more 644 municipalities in the state of São Paulo in Brazil. It's more than recognitions. We are technology pioneers since 2018 from the World Economic Forum, and the business side consider us one of the most innovative startups in the world. But this is only possible with a different, this high-level team with different backgrounds, different knowledge, but a passion for sustainability. And why WSA? We are ESG impact company, and we work to accelerating this process worldwide. And this only is going to be possible with your help, guys. So we are GreenPlat. Please join the revolution with us.
Thank you. That is a very interesting presentation. And first of all, I congratulate you for being a winner and good presentation. And now I want to open the panel for the jury members to ask any questions regarding your amazing presentation. So
Thank you very much.
I have a couple of jury members raising hands. So let me first go for Eva.
Hello. Thank you very much for your presentation. The numbers are really impressive. But could you tell just in a couple of sentences, so what precisely does your solution, GreenPlat, does?
Amazing. Well, first, we have a control what is happening in the municipality. So we control every private company that exists in the city of São Paulo, 609,000. And we control data from them about their water consumption, their waste disposal, and their energy consumption. But also we control the haulers that collect that material. It's more than 700 haulers that collect this material in São Paulo. With our QR codes, we have the inputs from this load of waste material, and also we control the disposal in the recyclers and landfills. It's something around 18,000 tons of waste. So if this material have a wrong kind of destination, the system shows us this input, and this is inconstant, and we apply a message for these companies. After that, we give a new direction for them for dispose that material, and we help the municipality also to collect the right tax about this waste disposal as well.
Thank you.
All right. And I have another question coming in from Connor. Connor, over to you.
Yes, hello. Thanks for the presentation. Really interesting product and I think a good pitch. That was also my first question. So going to my second question is about impact. As you presented the impact, I hear some talk about reduction of waste costs. You mentioned zero waste landfill in 6 months that you've achieved. Yep. That's sort of that zero waste landfill you pitch as, I think, your main impact maybe. Can you explain to us what that is? Why does it make society better?
Yeah, before the private companies that use our private solution, we make mats from the waste material from them. So before we work with them, they just put that material out for landfills. When you get inside and you collect the data, we understand the kind of the waste they generate, and we make links with companies that want that waste for circular economy process. So we give new destinations for that material, and we try to avoid the landfill destination for these private companies.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we can try to squeeze in one last question. Pilar, over to you.
Thank you for the good presentation. I'm very impressed. This is very exciting project. And I would like to hear from how easily do you see that your system could be transformed into another country? For example, in Kosovo, I know that there is a very big problem with landfills and the waste management system.
Amazing. So for the back end, we don't have any kind of issues. In the front end of the solution, we need to change the language, but this is easier, is less than 5% of the line codes of program. But what's the real rule for the system is that we need to understand the regulations from the country. The regulations are going to be in our software, the rules of control. Is this the only change that we need to know? This is the business rules of the software, and normally this is 20% of our line codes. This is going to take maybe 6 months to make these changes.
All right, thank you very much. And thank you very much for the presentation and the answers, and thanks again for the jury members for the intriguing questions as well. So I think we can now move on to the other winner, which is the Culture app from Singapore.
Hello, hi there, Josie here. It's lovely to meet you all. Thank you very much for having me. I just presume everybody can see my slides, and yeah, let me know when I can go ahead and start.
Please go ahead.
Awesome. Brilliant. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Josie. I'm co-founder and CEO here at Capture. So one of the main problems that we focus on here at Capture is the fact that millennials are now making a decision on who to work for based on how strong that organization prioritizes sustainability. So companies are faced with a big question now, which is how do you help eco-anxious employees to take climate action, but while staying in the jobs that they know and that they love? And that's where we come in here at Capture. So we help companies to build and engage a planet-friendly workforce, and we do that via an app and, of course, via a web-based dashboard. When it comes to our app, we help employees to get involved in sustainability challenges, and then in terms of the dashboard, we help organisations to monitor CO2 savings along with emissions from employee mobility choices. When it comes to the employee experience, first of all, we help them to join their team that's on the app. They can then view emissions saved and join the different sustainability challenges that we have available. These can include things such as having a meat-free lunch, using public transport, avoiding single-use plastic. We help employees to log their commitment days, and then they can join internal leaderboards, they can compete within their teams, and they can compete amongst teams. So it's a really gamified, positive experience for employees. Now, when it comes to our strategy and how we've grown, so we have a free consumer app. We've ranked #1 on the App Store under CO2 Tracker or Carbon Footprint Calculator. We've had nearly 40,000 organic downloads of this app, and this has meant that we've had businesses get in touch with us, typically 3 to 4 per week, asking whether we can help engage their employees in sustainability. In terms of where we are right now, so we co-founded Capture at the end of 2019. We had our first paid pilots kick off in Q4 2020. Within 2 months of launch with organisations, we had $30,000 of booked revenue. As I mentioned, we're #1 ranking for Carbon Footprint Tracker on the App Store and Google Play, and we're nearing 5K monthly recurring revenue. On the right, you can see a selection of some of our clients and organisations that we started working and testing with. But in terms of our vision, although we currently have sustainability competitions, our vision goes way beyond that. We want to help employees learn about climate change via a digital learning platform. We want to help organisations reward their employees with green rewards and benefits, and also help employees to be matched with different volunteering projects, as I said, all coming back to helping them take climate action while staying in the jobs that they love. Something else that we're working on is the ability for employees to rate their organisation on how sustainable they are, enabling other employees to find companies that align with their values when it comes to climate change and sustainability. In terms of us and our team, we co-founded the business. I co-founded the business with my co-founder Aziz in Singapore in 2019. We're all remote now, obviously, as you would expect during COVID. I'm based here in the UK, Aziz is based in Pakistan, and we've been supported by an incredible core team, which we're hoping very much to grow throughout the rest of this year. So please do check us out further. You can find us at thecapture.club. You can get in touch with me via our email address there. We're also fundraising at the moment, so do get in touch if you're interested in having a chat with me about that as well. Thank you very much.
Sachi, unmute yourself.
Sorry, I was saying very interesting presentation, and I'm pretty sure we will have quite a lot of interesting questions coming in as well. And yes, so Eva, you put the hands up first. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Sachi. Joseph, thank you very much for your presentation. It's indeed a very interesting project. I just want to clarify a bit. So at the end, so the customer of yours, are these the companies or the employees, and what is the business model that will ensure your sustainability in the future?
Josie, you're muted.
Thank you. And so we're one of those businesses. When you look at us, we look like a B2C app, right? So we have this free app that's available to the public, but we're actually a B2B SaaS company. So we monetize through our work with organizations, and they typically find us through our B2C app. So it's a specific strategy called product-led growth. You put something out there free to the world, and then you focus on converting a percentage of those, of course, into enterprise customers.
All right, and let me throw in a quick question as well. Can you precisely tell me how exactly do you measure your impact? How do you quantify it?
Absolutely. So when it comes to our consumer app, we help individuals to reduce their emissions by 7.6%. And it's 7.6% because that's the amount by which we would need to decrease emissions year on year between now and 2030 to meet the 1.5-degree warming target. So that's sort of generally how we measure our impact when it comes to our B2C consumer users. It's that making that 7.6% reduction immediate and actionable for them in terms of that monthly target. And when it comes to our work with organizations, obviously, we help show employees how much CO2 they're saving thanks to their planet-friendly commitments. If we were to work with a company of, say, 1,000 employees over the course of a year, we would hope to be able to help them save around 100 metric tons of CO2 emissions thanks to quarterly challenges that we would run for them.
All right, thank you very much. So we can throw in one last question, and it's coming from Connor. Over to you.
Yeah, I lowered my hand for a moment because you asked the same question I was going to ask, but now a follow-up. So you answered how you measure your impact in terms of the goal per user, and then you work with companies as well to understand their impact. So what has been the impact of Capture App so far? I understand your goals and how you want to measure it. What has been the impact so far?
Absolutely. So last year we helped the average user decrease their CO2 emissions by around 18%, although it was quite a tough year, right? Because we help users track their emissions from travel. And obviously with COVID and with the pandemic happening, I think emissions from travel, of course, would have gone down anyhow. So it's been a bit of a difficult year for us to determine whether we can keep this going for next year as well. But nonetheless, obviously, we're looking really at the fact that we're helping people become a lot more aware of numbers that were previously really difficult to keep track of and to understand.
All right, thank you very much for the questions as well as the answer, and wish you all the best. So I think it's time for us to move on to the other winner, and let me call upon AirCare from North Macedonia.
Hello, hello. Gorian from AirCare here.
Yes, stage is yours. Go for it.
Thank you so much. Once you see my screen, just give me a shout out, and then we'll start.
All yours.
Amazing, thank you. So 9 out of 10 people in the world are exposed to air pollution over safe limits, and over 7 million will die this year alone due to pollution exposure. I know this because this is a picture of my home city of Skopje, one of the most polluted in Europe, and ask myself why. Well, a lot of people are unaware about what exactly they're breathing. Our governments are unprepared to inform us about air pollution, and the data that's already out there is quite confusing. Because we believe breathing clean air is a human right, is why we created AirCare. AirCare is a mobile app that visualizes air pollution data through a very simple and intuitive interface. We look for open air quality sensors all around the world, may that be from the government, from volunteers like you and me, or even from space satellite data. We aggregate all of this raw data and we put it in a very simple, intuitive platform that literally at the end of the day helps you know what you breathe. We started this in 2015 as a pet project, and throughout the years it has grown tremendously. Last year, we were able to reach 500,000 downloads, and hopefully this year, we're going for the 1 big million. We looked at our competition as well and realized that both on the data sources and on the community access is where we excel. Because this is what one of our competitors sees in Skopje. Air pollution, red, sure, but we can see this. We can pinpoint exactly where air pollution is coming from and help both local governments and activists take action. And we looked at our impact and understood that, of course, our main activity is to aggregate raw pollution data. From there, we produce an output of very simple, accessible, and visualized data, and it has a threefold outcome. Initially, we have government action, where we have members of parliament waving screenshots of the app demanding cleaner and greener policies. We've raised public awareness, where we have over 20 protests nationwide through different cities, and that's me in front of the government building here. And we've had corporate action, where our main polluters have either shut down or have filters put on top. And that, of course, all kind of leads to clean air. Because if we look at the data in North Macedonia, air quality has been steadily getting better and better throughout the years. And while I don't want to make a direct connection to AirCare, this is a global movement where we can all make a change. And you don't have to take my word for it. Forbes, Google, NASA, BBC, the UN, they've all been talking about AirCare. Because throughout the years, we've won over 20 national and international awards and have expanded to over 45 countries around the world, but 150 are facing air pollution issues as we speak. From the business perspective, we're already sustainable, making 5K a month from ads, product placements, and subscriptions in the B2C sector, but we're also exploring the B2B sector, where we want to digitally transform industries through the big data that we have already collected through the years. My name is Gorian. I'm the founder and CEO of AirCare, and I quit my job at Booking.com in Amsterdam to move back and fully focus on this together with my tech guru Dragan and my design guru Elena. So let's save this world together. We're looking for a partner with eco connections and a passion for clean air, and 100K investment to expand our team with marketing and sales roles. I hope that you guys will be part of the solution to pollution. Join AirCare. Thank you.
Beautiful, pretty much on the dot in terms of time-wise. So congratulations, first of all, being a winner, and you're competing amongst the rest of the amazing winners to be the ultimate global champion. So let me throw in the first question. It's a very interesting product that you have. At the same time, my question is, you mentioned about your investment opportunities that you have. How do you plan to accelerate your growth? I understand you can grow organically or you can grow linear. How do you plan to accelerate? Because your product needs to accelerate. Do you have a plan?
Exactly. So our main plan here is to to work with local NGO organizations in every country that we launch. We tried this system when we launched in Serbia here, and we collaborated together with already existing organizations that work on this topic. We've reached out to them, we've worked with them, and they use their own network to spread AirCare throughout the already established organizations, because we give this app to them as a tool to help them speed up their work and their word that have been already putting out there. And of course, the investment that we're looking at will really help us reach markets that are further away from our comfort zone here in the Balkans. So I don't know, talking about the APAC region or maybe talking about South America. So being able to find people there and market correctly will really help us reach customers.
All right, thank you very much. So we have a few more questions coming in. Let me take Zoe here. Fire up your question, please.
Thank you very much, Sachi. Great presentation, great project. Thank you very much for the pitch. I just wanted to know how you generate revenue now and how you plan to generate more revenues in the future. So you were talking about 0.5 million euros, I think, in terms of revenues. So how will you grow this revenues, and what are the different revenue streams you're expecting?
Right. So that 0.5 is actually the amount of downloads that we have of the app. We make around 5K a month recurring revenue that's able to pay for our team. We do that through in-app product placements, which for green and eco projects like, I don't know, air purifiers or masks that you can wear outside, unfortunately. We work with companies, especially locally here in the Balkans, green companies, and we only allow their ads to show up on the app. So we would of course help them target the correct audiences. And we have subscriptions to our pro version, which gives you widgets and dark versions and things like that will help you get the app in a better experience. But we're also looking into the B2B sector. Here, we've collected data throughout the years, and we're keeping this in databases and realized, hey, let's monetize this. So we want to offer this through a pollution dashboard to companies that can make better choices about marketing their own products, about governments that can help them understand where air pollution is coming from, and researchers that can make maybe better innovation to have a cleaner and greener future. So offering that as a paid service will make sure that we keep having steady revenues.
All right, thank you very much. So I'm trying to throw in one last question, but let's make sure it's a very short question. Connor, over to you.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. My hand was still up from the past presentation, so I'll opt out on this one.
All right, all good.
And this is Beewise. So hang on to your screens. Don't log off yet. We have one more pitch to go, courtesy of the Environment and Green Technology session. So Beewise, when you're ready, let us know and the clock will start.
Can you guys see my screen and hear me?
Okay, off you go.
I'm ready, thank you. Hi everybody, sorry for being late. I'm Sar and I'm going to talk to you about bees today. Did you know that 75% of all the global fruit, vegetables, seeds and nuts are pollinated by bees? It's not only what we eat, it's also what we drink, what we wear, even what our livestock eats. 75% of the global fruit, vegetables, seeds, and nuts for 7.5 billion people, right? We like to think about pollination as the infrastructure of farming. But like in every good story, there's a twist. In our case, we're losing our bees. This is what is sometimes referred to as colony collapse disorder. And we're losing about 35% of the colonies every single year around the globe. It doesn't matter where you are, you will lose about 35% of your bees, which is a disaster considering how important they are to a global food supply. The reasons why we're losing them are many. Pests, disease, climate change, the pesticides we use. And one more thing you need to know is that commercial beekeepers are the ones who are growing bees at scale, 1,000 hives, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 hives. And these guys can only treat their bees if they actually reach them in the field. So they have to drive 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, get to the hives, open them up, and only then they know what's going on and they can treat the bees. Oftentimes, 35% of the time, it's too late. Welcome BeeHome. BeeHome is a device that houses 24 hives on each side of the device. And in the center, there's a robot that monitors the bees with using computer vision, identifies what they need, and treats them in real time, providing them food, water, medicine, temperature, and so on. In our devices, over the last 2 years and dozens of devices, we've seen an 8% mortality rate versus a 35% in the control, Connor. And so just to say, we're saving the bees at scale using advanced technology. This is what the beekeepers use. Beekeepers log onto their computer to actually use the device. They don't have to travel and see the bees, and they see the status of their hives at real time. Doesn't matter where they are in the world. We're in a $30 billion market. Our business model is a subscription. Beekeepers pay us $15 per hive per month, and they realize 103% profit after paying our fees and launching our solution. We're a 3-year-old company. We're here to save the bees and secure global food supply. Thank you for listening.
Perfect timing, right within the time. Questions from our jury members. Phila, go ahead, please.
I hope I didn't miss the mark that you said that how many customers do you have? Very interesting product. I would like to have one myself.
So we're focusing on commercial beekeepers. These are the guys that manage thousands of hives. We currently have 23 of the biggest commercial beekeepers in the world. They're in the US, and we're in negotiations with many more. The problem we have today is supply constraint. We have orders for over 1,000 of these devices, and we only deliver about 30 a month. So we're a little bit behind in terms of what we can actually produce.
As we wait for other jury members, maybe you can just tell us, because it flashed up quite quickly, a little bit of some of the metrics. I'm sitting in my house on my computer. There were a lot of very many small little graphs, maybe just in 30 seconds or so, a little bit more on those metrics.
All right, cool. So when you're a beekeeper, what you really do is you drive to your hives, you open up the hive, and you want to see how much honey, pollen, and brood there is in there. Brood is the bee, how healthy a colony is. And so we show that over the 24 hives in the device, we show that in real time at 24/7. And again, you might be managing colonies in California and you're on vacation in Hawaii, and you can still log in and see the exact status. And you can also feed and treat the bees remotely. So you can direct the robot to apply its treatments while you're doing it on your computer.
Okay, excellent. Phila, question again. Go ahead, please.
How are you thinking of increasing your supply of the beehives? If you're currently having a problem with the producing of the hives, so have you addressed it somehow? Are you planning on getting some more funding or something?
Yes. So just to be clear, we're not providing the bees. We provide the technology, the house, the new house for the bee, the new hive. And yes, Phila, what you said is absolutely correct, right? So we're focusing on, first of all, hiring, right? Hiring talent to improve the supply chain, manufacturability, and production of the devices. We're raising capital all the time because we're a capital-intensive business. And on one hand, it's a good problem to have. On the other hand, it hurts your brand equity if you're not delivering on time and you're not fulfilling your orders. So this is where we're struggling right now.
Let's invite our friend Okrit to let us know more about Ricult. The two names are similar to each other. So Okrit, the floor is yours. Are you ready?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you share your screen?
Yes. Sharing my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see. The floor is yours.
Okay. It says that I cannot share my video the same time as sharing screen.
Okay, so please keep share screen.
Okay. Okay, so let me start. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Okrit from Ricult. At Ricult, we use big data and machine learning to help uplift the life of poor farmers around the world, starting with Thailand. So just a quick overview, 40% of the Thai population are farmers, but they are the largest group of people living in poverty, just $54 a month. This is not just a local Thai problem, but a global problem affecting over 500 million farmers around the world. If you look at why the farmers are poor, there are a few reasons. So the main reason is pretty much due to highly inefficient due to a lack of data and technology. On the farmer side, they cannot access affordable loans. They have to go to a loan shark because banks are not willing to give affordable loans to them due to a lack of data to assess the risk, even though the banks want to give loan to the farmers. Second, their productivity is very low and they have no direct market to the access to the market with many middlemen cutting off their profit margin. But on the other hand, mills and restaurants want to buy directly from the farmers, but it is very difficult and expensive to reach the farmers. So we see a huge gap where technology can come and fill in this gap and solve the problem for both sides of the parties. What even worse is climate change. There are drought, unpredictable flood, which cause tremendous crop loss. So this is a big problem, and we have a world-class team to solve this problem. I have an engineering and MBA degrees from MIT, so I co-founded Ricult with 4 other MIT friends. One thing that have totally changed in Thailand is the access to smartphone. More and more farmers have access to smartphone now. Our concept is using machine learning to analyze satellite data, microclimate weather data, and agronomic data to put highly specific and customized recommendations, such as using satellite to scan their farm or providing 9 months weather forecast to help farmers make better prediction. So in short, we have created an integrated big data platform for agriculture, connecting farmer with service and service with the farmers. So in short, we use satellite imagery to detect different signals from the leaf to see dead leaf, stressed leaf, or healthy leaf, and help them come up with a better ways to improve their crops using digital tools. This is how the app looks like. For example, we can scan the land and using satellite to find the problem in red, and the farmer can book a drone service to go and spray the farm in red so that they can improve and solve these problems. So these are some of the farmers already using our platform. We got tremendous traction so far. We launched in January 2019. Within 2 years, we have over 300,000 farmers now using our app. Our model is making the app free to farmers, but we sell the data to banks so that they can give affordable loans to the farmers and providing and with the supply chain analytics platform as well. So we have clients throughout the whole life cycle of agricultural market, from the banks that give loans to our platform to insurance to crop buyers and also energy companies. So they purchase agricultural waste to turn into energy. So at Ricult, we believe that those who feed us need us. Thank you.
Thank you, Okrit, for your nice presentation. Ricult was from Thailand and giving us an information about how they can help people in Tahipur to solve their problems. Our juries, we have a question from Connor. So please, Connor.
Yes, thank you, Okrit. I appreciate hearing about the product. I would like to ask you more about the use of the app. You say you have 300,000 farmers using it. Can you tell us about these as far as how many of those are active users? And what does active mean for you? Using it every day, using it every month? Dive into your user base and your use case a little bit more for us, please.
Yes, sure. So that's a great question. We are a data analytics company, so we track the usage of our farmers very regularly. We define active as logging in at least once a week, weekly active users, because sometimes farming they don't need to go to the farm every day. So as long as they log into our account, to their account once a week, we consider them active. So out of 300,000, we have around 100,000 active users on our platform. So every week we have roughly around 100,000 farmers coming back and use our app.
Another question from Connor?
I'm only raising my hand again because I don't see any other questions from the jury.
Okay.
So I'm just going to toss in a cheeky follow-up. Okay, so 100,000 active users, that's a really great number, especially for farmers that are using an app. So let's dive into the 100,000. What are they using it for? Would you say the majority are using it for agricultural information, like farmers are trusting the satellite data to tell them whether or not their crops are growing the right way, or are most using it for the finances, for the loans? What are your big user segments?
Yeah, interestingly, the main, at least, I mean, everyone uses it for weather data, right? So everyone, so in Thailand, the biggest problem for farming is amount of rainfall, when it will rain and it will not rain when there will be drought. So in Thailand, irrigation system is very bad. And as you know, for farming, water is the most important source. So by knowing when it will rain, when there will be drought, a few months in advance, in our app, we can forecast up to 9 months in advance. In Thailand, we have a whole agronomy weather forecasting team just for long-term. So most farmers use our app for weather basis because that has a key impact on when they should plant the corn, their seeds, when they should put their fertilizer, because if they put their fertilizer and the rain comes down, the cost of fertilizer will be washed away for free. So that is something that we can save the cost. Or even during harvesting, weather pattern has a huge impact on the harvesting pattern and labor management. I would say just around 20% actually use satellite imagery. Because to be honest with you, most farmers in Thailand have just around 9th grade or 10th grade of education. They are close to their 60s, so they're in the aging society. So most farmers, even though they use smartphone, but they are not so tech savvy. So the farmer who can actually use our satellite image and actually trust our satellite image are just roughly around 10 to 20%, and usually are on the younger age group.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Wishing you all the best, and let's look forward to the next session. Thank you very much.